welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers, welcome newcomers, and thank you to everybody in the groups that's been following me from the start. And thank you so much to the new ones that are just embarking in this journey with me. I am very grateful and humbled by it. Thank you. We are going to start today a table runner. Of course, you must have seen, for those of you that are already subscribed and got notified, I finished uploading this beautiful small flower, which I'm going to create a table runner and add these flowers to my table runner. So I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial and be part of the creation with me. I will leave below on the description box the link to the flowers if you want to create this flower or use a different one. And also I have my Instagram that I will leave below. If you create some of my pieces, go ahead, send me some photos from my Instagram. Some of my followers have done that. And I usually make little videos with their creations of the designs on my channel and put their name up along with the country that they're from. So their work of their creations can be known also throughout the world. So don't hesitate to do that. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, so I use 100% cotton thread, 4-ply. Hook number 3, a small one for loose ends, tuck in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. I will be starting the centerpiece with, trying to grab my thread here, with cream. It's an off-white cream. And then I'll use some of the colors as I'm going along for this centerpiece and add some flowers in the sides, in the middle of the centerpiece, not exact middle of the pattern, but in the side middles of the centerpiece. You'll see what I mean once we get there. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Let's get started. Oh, and before I forget, good God. So up top, there's 3 little buttons. If the video is too fast for you, you can click on there and slow down to your liking. Always remember that my thread or my tension on crochet is not the same as yours. So even though I will put the size in the description box of my pattern, it varies from country to country, the type of thread you're using or the yarn and your tension on your stitch too. So just, pay attention to that. Remembering that the thicker you go on the thread, the bigger your piece. The smaller you go, like Aunt Lydia, the smaller your piece will be. Okay? So any questions, please feel free to ask. I will answer to every single one of you. It might take sometimes a little bit longer because of the different hour change of countries. But I do reply back to everyone. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is a slip stitch knot. And of course, when you do a slip stitch knot, you never count this as one chain. It's just not countable, okay, for the especially beginners. And we're going to do 70 chain stitch. Okay, so you count right after your slip stitch knot. So 1, 2, 3, 4 until 70, and I'll meet you at the 70th. So we're pretty much done the 70 chain stitch. We're going to do 3 more for a double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. So you'll have a total of 73. So you come back 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space. We're going to do double crochet. Next space. Double crochet, next space, double crochet. So now we're going to do double crochet per 1 per space, and we're supposed to have a total of 70 double crochets. So I'll meet you at the edge of the end. So I've done my 70 double crochet. Now inside of the same space where I have my last one, my 70, I'm going to do 7 more inside of this space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to continue to proceed on the first one on this side, remembering that everything you do on one side, you must do on the other side. So we need to do 90 double crochets on this side too. And make sure you have the right amount, because then we're going to be in trouble further up. And we're going to do these 7 on the last one here at this edge too, on the same place where we have this one. So in total, if you realize, because we're doing 7 in here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 double crochets. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, so I've done my 90 on this side. I'm using a smaller hook because my first stitch when I start a pattern is too tight and I'll never get it in there with a thicker one. But I'm going to loosen it up because I don't want it to be smaller than my original one. So I'm going to do 7 now on this side too. So I did 1 on the same space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 more. 7. I'm going to close it up on the third space here. Of course, it's all crumpled up. We know that. Got to make sure we don't lose this because it hides it back there. So now we're going to continue to do our 70 double crochet again. Okay, so very simple, nothing to it. So this would be considered row 2. You know, if you look at it this way. So we're going to do 70 until we reach the corner here. I've arrived on the corner. I've done my 70 double crochet. I'm going to do 2 chain. On my next one, I'm doing double crochet. Next space, double crochet again. 2 chain. On my next space, I'm doing double crochet and another double crochet on the same space. 2 chain. I'm doing another double crochet and another double crochet on the next space. 2 chain. On the next space, so you do your 2 chain, and on the next space, double crochet, and we're going to do our 70 double crochets again. Okay, so just continue on. We want to make sure that this is pretty much centered here. If you find that it's not centered enough, we could always add if we're missing a stitch or so, okay? Because we don't want it to be too far apart. We want it to be right innocent. So I'm gonna, where we did the 2 together, I'm gonna push over, okay? Just, okay, that looks much more better. 1, 2, next space. 1, next space, and another one. I think that looks much better centered. Okay, 1, 2. And now we're going to proceed to do our 70 double crochet. And when you get to the end, you should have enough, because we did create 7 in here with 1 would equal 8. So it should be okay. If not, we're going to add 1 more double crochet at the end. So don't worry about that. So I've done my 70 double crochet, 2 chain separation, next space, double crochet, next space, double crochet, 1, 2 chain separation, double crochet. I think we're going to skip here because we did do a little extra inside just to make sure. So 2 chains, so we're going to skip 1, we're going to go on the second one, and then next space just to be on the center here, and 2 chain again, and we're going to go 1, we're going to skip 1 here, and we're going into the next one, and that's good. 2 chain separation. We're going to close in on the third space right up here, and this is why I wanted these 7 done in here with your last 70 double crochet. That would be 8, right? So we always have 1 or 2 extra. That's why I said not to worry about it when we were here, because you should have it done. I rather that way than to be short. Okay, so chain 3, 2 and 3, and we continue doing double crochet over double crochet, and I'll meet you at the edge, at the corner, remembering that every time you work one side, you have to work the other side the same. So whatever you do on this edge, you have to do it on this edge. Okay, so I'll meet you on this edge. We've come to the edge. We're going to do 2 double crochets inside of the space here, 2 chain separation, and 2 more double crochets, my thread is flying everywhere. Okay, 1 on top of the double crochet, another 1 on top of the next double crochet, inside of the space, 2 double crochet, 2 chain separation, 2 more double crochet, and we're going to repeat this on the other side the same way. 1 on top of the double crochet, 2 inside of the space, and 2 chain separation, 2 more inside of the space, and again. Now I had done this pattern years ago. A friend of mine had created that. She got it from somebody, and I created this pattern. I'm sure you've probably seen in some of my videos. I have it up on top of my counter in the kitchen. 2 inside of the space. But I've had some people ask me for that pattern already a few times, and I keep creating other stuff and not that pattern. But so here's the day to create it. I'm just going to modify it a bit, because on that pattern doesn't have these type of flowers and so on and so forth. So I don't know who the actual creator and designer of that. It's been years. I think maybe, I don't know, a good, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years already that I have that pattern. It's getting old, the poor thing. But I am going to modify it a bit. You know me, I don't like to create exactly the same thing as everybody else. I like to do my own thing. But I've had a high demand on that pattern, and so because of that, I am going to, it's been a while that people are asking me for it, and I'm going to create it. The only thing is I'm going to modify it, of course, and I'm adding flowers to it that doesn't have this type of flower. But I will show you. I will go and get it on my counter, on my kitchen counter, and I will show you what it looks like. Don't mind it because it's already old as, oh my God, you know, like it's really beaten, run down already. Okay, so 1 double crochet per space, and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, But I'm for some of you that haven't seen the pattern yet, I'm sure you're gonna love it because it is a very beautiful pattern. So I've reached the end of doing my groups here as I did on the other side. I'm gonna close it up on the third chain with a slip stitch and chain 3 again. We're going to continue to create the 70 double crochets all the way to the edge, and I'll meet you at the edge to follow through what we need to do on the other side. Okay, so we finished doing the 70. Now we are going to do this one on the first double crochet here, a 3D. So a 3D double crochet, we're going to grab it from the side and do our double crochet, and then on the next one double crochet normal inside of the space, one double crochet, one chain, one double crochet on top of the double crochet, and on the second one we're going to do the 3D double crochet. We are doing next space double crochet normal, well, the next two, double crochet again. So we have the 3D, the 2 double crochet normal, and here we're going to do the double crochet 3D, next space double crochet normal, one inside of the space, one chain, one double crochet on the same space, one normal double crochet, one 3D double crochet, next space double crochet, and next space double crochet, and then the 3D double crochet here, next space double crochet, inside of the space double crochet, one chain, same space double crochet over double crochet. We're going to do the 3D double crochet, and then the 2 double crochet normal, 3D double crochet, normal double crochet, inside of the space one double crochet, one chain, one double crochet, one double crochet, and the last one 3D double crochet, and then we proceed with the normals 70 double crochet. I'll show you in a second. So we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 3D double crochet. We have to do the same thing on this side. If you need to rewind the video, then you do that in order to follow through exactly what we did here. We must do on this side here. I'll meet you at the end. And I apologize for saying 6 3D double crochet, but it's not 6, it's 8. My apology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. But people, please always look ahead of the video before you create anything. Because if there's a mistake, or I mention a mistake somewhere, or there's a change of plans, you're always supposed to look up ahead of the video. Okay, so we're going to continue to double crochet until the other corner, and I'll come back to you at the other edge. Okay, so we've done the 70 stitches, and we reach where the 3D is. So we're going to continue to do the 3D on top of the 3D. That stays the same always, and then we're going to proceed with the double crochet over double crochet and one in the center, one chain. So it's just repeatedly now the same thing as we did from the previous row. And where we have the 3D, we are going to do the 3D over the 3D. And then repeat the same thing again, double crochet over double crochet. Oops, missed a 3D here. You have to be careful. So we got to do the, because we have the two chains here in here, right? Just so we have these two chains, and we got to do the 3D, and then we proceed with double crochet. So we're just going to repeat the same thing as we just did from the previous row, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Doing our 3D and the normal double crochet. One chain separation, so pretty much everything stays the same. It might be possible that we'll have to go to video 2 on this, because this will take too much memory on my cell phone. So probably most definitely have to go to video part 2. And the last 3D here before we start our 7D double crochet. So you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 3Ds. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. So I had finished here and started doing my 70 because it's repeat the same thing. So I'm on row 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to repeat row 6, the same thing. I'm cutting my thread after this because I'm going to have one line with a different color. So where we have the 3Ds, we continue doing the same thing. And where we have the regular crochet, we're going to continue to do double crochet over double crochet. So nothing to it. Inside of the space, one double crochet and one chain. It's so hard to crochet and have your hands stretched for the camera. Needle keeps slipping off, obviously, because we have no control of our arms at this point. So we do the 3D, and we continue on, and then your double crochet, then your same thing here, and then I'm cutting my thread, and I'm using one of the colors. I'm not sure yet at this point. So like I said, we are in row 6. 1 2 3 4 5. Hold on. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. Okay, you guys, so we've done 6 rows of 70 double crochet, and the motif on the sides with 8 3D double crochet. I'm going to change color. I'm going to do one row with this very blue. Trying to think of the name. Can't come up with a name. Navy blue. Actually, it's more than navy blue. It's really vivid blue. Okay, so I did the single. So you know how to do your double crochets. I'm just showing you my row 7. I've changed color and continue to proceed to do the same way as we've been doing. And getting to the motifs, the same thing. You still continue doing your 3D double crochet on the corners, on the edges. So, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, you guys, so I wanted to show you what the pattern looks like. For some of you that are already used to seeing my recordings, I do a lot of recordings in the kitchen. So you know, you must have seen this on top of the counter. As you can see, it's all old and stained already. It's like 6, 7 years already, but these are the beautiful either sunflowers or margaritas, whatever you want to call it. But this is what it looks like. And right now, I just finished doing row 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more rows the same way as we've been doing. So you're going to continue on doing this exact same thing. 4 more rows the same way. And I'll meet you at the end of, so 8, 9, 10, 11, row 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is a colored one. 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll meet you at the end of row 11 because then we're changing up the game on row 12. And I couldn't think of that blue, but it's royal blue. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 11. We're continuing to work the same way. Just want to let you know that if you want to give it an effect on this blue, I'm going to use only back loops. So 1 single, 1 chain, 2 chain, and grabbing only the back loop. That's going to give like a little effect up front of the color, but you don't have to. You can just continue on doing the same way. I'm going to do it this way because I want it to pop out a little bit more. So it's going to give that little wall 3D effect on the double crochet. Okay, and as you can see, I prepared, of course, my flowers from the last tutorial, and I will be adding these flowers on here. I also have prepared some of these green petals that I'm not done with them yet, but they will be also added on to the pattern. As you can see, it's going to be very lovely. Okay, but I will leave all of the links below on the description box if you want to create it and design it with flowers and petals. Okay, I just want to touch base with you in case you get confused. You still do your 3D on top of the 3D. It stays the same. The only thing you're doing is just grabbing back loops. When you come to the center of the motif here, you still do your 1 double crochet inside, 1 chain and 1 double crochet inside. So nothing changes. It's just, you know, you're just doing your double crochets, the normal ones, just grabbing back loops only. But 3D double crochet stays the same, and inside of the motif here where we have the one chain space, that stays the same also. You do your one double crochet, one chain, and one double crochet, just so you don't get confused. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished my row 11. We're going into row 12. Row 12, we're going to have some squares. We need 23 squares done. So chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 2 space, and we're going into the third space, grabbing back loops only. Chain 2, skip 2 space, into third space, back loops only. 1, 2, 1, 2, on the third space again. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 space on the third space. We're grabbing back loops only. And we're supposed to have a total of 23 squares. So I'm at my edge. Now if I skip 2, I'm going to land 1 right before. So I'm going to do one more chain. So chain 3 on this one, and I'm going to do my 3D right on it. I'm going to continue to do my double crochet, grabbing back loops only. So I'm going to meet you just before the 3D. Inside of your space, so you don't get confused, 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet. And then you proceed grabbing back loops only. Until the 3D, and I'll come back to you at the 3D. So now we've reached where we have the 2 3Ds together. We are going to do the 3D double crochet, and we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 chain, and 3D again. And we're going to continue grabbing back loops and doing our double crochets again. So you're supposed to have a total of 10 double crochets on each side. I mean, if you have 11, don't stress about it. We'll fix it. We'll have a way to maneuver it, so it's not the end of the world. You don't need to take the whole row down because you have 1 or 2 more. We'll just skip, jump, cheat, let's say. Okay, so don't stress over it. I mean, these are common things that happen. And in a way, it's good it does, because it teaches you how to fix it instead of taking everything down. Okay, so we're going to continue on the double crochet again. And when we get to the 2 3D double crochet, we're going to do the double crochet and 3 chain to continue on exactly as we did here. We're going to do it here and over on the other side of the pattern, and we continue on with the using back loops only. Okay, so you have the 2 loops here. We use the back loops. Make sure you got 23 squares on the other side too. Okay, so I've come to the end with a 3D. I'm going to count 1, 2 on the third space. I'm going to close it in with slip stitch. I'm going to cut my thread because now I'm doing the part of the flower here. So I'm going to use a yellow color, I believe. we want it to stand out, right? So we got to use bright colors with darker shades of colors. So I'm just going to tuck it in through here because the next stitches are gonna hide the thread here, so I'm not concerned about it. I usually make knots, but because we have the next stitch that's going to hide it, we're okay. Okay, so on to the making of the flowers now. So now I'm going to use the lighter shade of blue. I'm going to come right at the beginning where after the square, where the first 3D double crochet in the back, grabbing back loops. I'm going to do single. We're going to do singles all the way through, grabbing back loops only. So very simple, nothing to it. Just doing singles until we get to where the open square is on the 3D. You're going to come into the center where we have that one chain. So we're going to do one chain, one single, one chain, one single again, and again, doing single crochets all the way until the square. And I'm grabbing back loops only because we're going to hide this blue afterwards when I'm going to start doing the middle of the flower here. Well, not the middle of the flower. We're going to hide it once we start creating the leaves with it, I should say. Okay, so we've come to the last one here. We do a single. Now we're going to come inside of the square and we're going to do 9 double crochets because we are creating the center of the flower. And I'm going to do it in this blue because I'm going to do my petals in yellow. So we have 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to come on the next one, do our single, and continue singles until we finish to do this edge. And then we're going to do pretty much singles on top of every stitch. I know you can't see because I got the purple on top now, but nothing to it. It's just singles all the way through, but I'll show you once we get there. Okay,